You found the WMIX Saturday Sports Show on AM 940 and WMIXSports.com. Cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. The Saturday Sports Show has been recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the top radio programs in the state. That means the very best mix of local sports content is right here. From the Powerhouse on Broadway, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
From the Powerhouse, indeed, a lot of power comes from behind the Saturday Sports Show today. Of course, a loaded lineup, a loaded scoreboard, loaded talk. It's all powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Jeff Crow is in studio with us as well. It's going to be a busy lineup for you today, as we told you, of course. Here on the Saturday Sports Show, we're here until 10 o'clock. We hope you'll stay tuned the entire time, of course, right here on AM 940, online at WMIXSports.com. What a lineup we have for you today. We'll talk about the Mount Vernon Rams' perfect run thus far with Mount Vernon Rams head basketball coach Scott Gamber. We'll talk with Lady Rams head basketball coach Jeff Lonan about his team's effort at the Nashville Invitational Tournament. We'll talk with Brad Weathers. He is the head coach of the Nashville Hornets. They had a big win last night, of course, in the Lebanon post-Thanksgiving tournament. Keith Welch of the Hamilton County Foxes will stop by, as will Shane Garner, the Session-Valere Red Devils. We'll talk with familiar voice Mike Denault, now the head coach at Trico in his second year there. We'll talk about the Trico tournament coming up. And we will also talk with Ron Weinmiller. Ron is the head coach of the Benton Rangers, of course, actually talking to him this time in his official capacity. But we'll talk about how their season has gone so far. I'm sure we'll hit on other topics. We'll also talk about a big game that they have tonight, as I believe the Benton Rangers will play the West Frankfort Redbirds. That's a big one tonight. Of course, we'll talk about the Christopher Thanksgiving tournament. We'll briefly touch on some of the high school football state championships, and we'll also talk about one of the goings-on in high school football right now. Popular conversation, of course, is the potential for a co-op between Alvarado and DuQuoin, and how that might impact all the way up to the South 7, perhaps, of course, as that would open up schedules. It's kind of a mess, but not really a mess, but we'll talk about it, get it straightened out for you here on the Saturday Sports Show today. Of course, that'll be later on in the program. We hope you'll stay tuned again until 10 o'clock, but we do always have the best in high school sports scores, as evidenced by WMIXSports.com, where you can also watch the archive of last night's exciting win for the Mount Vernon Rams over the Collinsville Jayhawks. We also have a highlight of Braden Fitzgerald's three-pointer at the buzzer. Check them all out. You can check out the Lady Rams archives from yesterday as well. It's all at WMIXSports.com, where we have that aforementioned scoreboard.
In football yesterday, in 1A, Lena Winslow beat Downs Tri-Valley 28-21. Sterling Newman Central Catholic beat Staunton 40-13. In 3A, in overtime, Stillman Valley beat St. Joe Ogden 43-41. And Rochester wins 4 state football championships in a row, beating Geneseo 16-8. At the Pyramid Tournament last night, a game you heard on WMIX, Mount Vernon beat Collinsville in exciting fashion 75-72. Salem beat Soldan, Missouri 79-71. And Marion beat Heron 51-40. At the Turkey Tournament in Christopher, Waltonville beats Egyptian 66-33. And ZR beats Thompsonville 63-45. At Centralia last night, Jerseyville beat Muhammad Seymour 61-58. And Centralia beat Belleville East 42-39. At Alton beat Vashon 79-36. And Jacksonville beat Northwest Academy 71-67. Alton and Jacksonville playing a title game tonight. At the Capital Classic, the first day of play, Marshall beat Mount Carmel 58-55. Pinckneyville over Lawrenceville 64-56. Lawrenceville beat Marshall 53-51. Mount Carmel beat Pinckneyville 50-23. Olney over Red Hill 62-49. T-Town beat Fairfield 73-57. Olney beat T-Town 43-40, and then Fairfield beat Red Hill 82-71 as they all played 2 games yesterday. There are more scores listed. You can go to WMIXSports.com to see the rest of them. There are a ton located at WMIXSports.com.
Yes, there are. Boys basketball, girls basketball. Of course, the Lady Rams lost a pair yesterday. We'll talk with Jeff Lonan about that at the bottom of the hour. Of course, they lost to Massac in a tough one, 51-48, and then you have to presume ran out of gas for that second game of the nightcap against Mascoutah, 59-47. Lady Rams scores. You can find their archives as well at WMIXSports.com. There was your scoreboard. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the 4-0 Mount Vernon Rams with head coach Scott Gamber. This is the Saturday Sports Show powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what health care should be.
Back after these.
Mount Vernon is home to many wonderful people and things, and that includes quality cardiac care from Dr. Ruzaik Ibrahim. A skilled cardiologist, Dr. Ibrahim's training and scientific accomplishments have earned his designation as a Fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His services range from preventative care to the treatment of advanced heart conditions. For an appointment with Dr. Ibrahim at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 241-9071 or visit in person at 4113 South Water Tower, Mount Vernon.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview in Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals. Pekin Insurance.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon.
Consumer Reports ranked the 2014 Chevy Silverado number 1 over the Dodge, over the Ford, over the Toyota. So we're really proud of our new truck. You also get a free maintenance plan. You don't have to pay for your oil changes anymore. It's really a remarkable deal. Right now we're offering up to $2,500 in rebates on the 2014 Chevy Silverado, so it's more affordable than ever. And like I said, they're selling good.
Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Welcome back, Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com, all powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Jeff Crow is with us as well this morning until 10 o'clock as we talk with Mount Vernon Rams head basketball coach Scott Gamber. Scott's team, of course, 4-0 with an exciting thriller last night over the Collinsville Jayhawks, 75-72. Don't forget your scoreboard is online at WMIXSports.com. Scott, good morning.
Morning. How are you guys doing?
You know, pretty good. Last night, obviously, very, 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 very exciting. Of course, a 75-72 finish. Braden Fitzgerald hits a 3 at the buzzer. What is going through your mind at that point as you draw up the final play? Is that something where you say, hey, let's go with Braden? Did he step up and say, hey, I want the ball? How did that transpire in that timeout with 12.4 seconds left?
Well, Collinsville they played zone earlier in the game, but then they'd gone man the whole second half, and then right before the timeout, they went back 2-3 zone. So we called timeout to set up a play. The play was supposed to be where Gilwan would get it, throw it to Braden on the wing. Shikari would set a ball screen, and then they had not been showing real well on the ball screen, and Braden would come off the ball screen, and if they didn't guard it well, Braden would shoot it, and if they came out and jumped it, then we could throw it to Hawk. It didn't transpire like that. We couldn't get the ball into Gilwan. Braden came and got it. He got in a spot where we couldn't get the ball screen to him, and he just waited till make sure we were going to get the last shot, and he knocked down a huge shot from right in front of our bench. And he wanted the ball, and after the game, he said that last year against Collinsville, he had a chance to win the game and missed, and he wasn't going to do that this year. And so you love a kid that wants the ball in his hands, and you really love a kid that wants it in his hands and delivers, and that's what Braden did.
As you know from playing and as coaching, you draw up a play, you draw up something like you did last night, and it goes awry, whether it's the team, the defense, whatever the case may be. How important is that for a guy like Braden Fitzgerald and others on your team to sit there and go, okay, I don't need to panic. I've got a few seconds. I can step back, assess the situation as he did, and then go on and make the play himself and not be panicked about the play that was drawn up being broke down.
Well, that was huge. And I can promise you that he was a lot more composed than we were on the bench. I mean, he caught it, and he looked like everything was exactly how it was supposed to be, and that's big when you have that. And at the timeout, Jake Pike could ask, well, what happens if they don't allow us to set the ball screen? And we said, well, then you're just going to have to try to drive and attack. And Collinsville did a really good job, and this is kind of what's unfortunate for them. Collinsville did a great job of when Braden caught it where he did, their top guard on the zone was not going to allow him back to the middle of the floor. So their defense really, shut down a big chunk of that, and we couldn't even get the scrum. I think if Braden would have tried to go ahead and run the play, I don't think there's any chance it would have worked with where we caught the ball initially. I mean, he stayed composed, and that was a big shot. I mean, that's as big a shot as we've had in a long time. It felt, last night was one of those games where, last year we lose that game. We didn't make free throws in the fourth quarter like we needed to last night. We had 2 big turnovers. We couldn't get a stop. When we finally got them to miss a shot, which it seems like they didn't miss any shots in the fourth quarter, but when we finally got them to miss one, we couldn't get the rebound. We ended up fouling, giving up a 3-point play. And we had a lot of things down the stretch, go away from us, and to be able to regain our composure and to hit that shot and get a victory out of it was huge, because I think we're a good free throw shooting team. We shoot free throws really well in practice. Going into last night, we had shot free throws really well. We just had a bad night last night, and it almost cost us.
Well, one other thing I wanted to point out, the free throws were one thing, but I thought during the whole fourth quarter, every time you'd look up, you're like, okay, your team's made a bunch of shots. You're like, okay, you look up, you're only up 6. You look up, you're only up 5.
Right.
You're only up 7. I thought your team did a great job of not just clock watching, playing, not to lose, did a good job of keeping going, and that's basically, I know Collinsville came back to tie it up, they're a pretty good team, but the fact that your team went out, took care of business, and then got the job done at the end because they didn't lay back and let Collinsville run all over them.
I think with this group, I think we're going to have to keep doing that. Especially against a team like Collinsville, where we were struggling to get stops last night. We've got to do a better job on the defensive end, but they put us, Coach Lee does a very, very good job, and they put us in some really tough spots. I mean, they did a great job last night of seeing their huge size advantage, isolating their bigs, and then where we were trying to help early in the game, they start putting shooters there. So now, we can't help from the same spots, because if we do, they're going to knock down a shot. And then 23 last night, I mean, he had an enormous game. I mean, I don't know if he missed a shot. It didn't feel like he was perfect from the free throw line. He knocked down some big threes. He scored off the dribble. I mean, I know you could say that about some of our kids, that they had big games. Man, if he has just a very good game, we win last night a little more comfortable. But he puts up 33 points, and he did it very economical. I mean, he didn't do it shooting a bunch of shots, and everything he shot was in. The thing about last night that was nice was we were struggling defensively. They were having a good night, and we had some guys really step up on the offensive end. I thought the first half, a few different times, I thought we were getting ready to let the game get away from us. They were having their way with us on the offensive end, and Jake Pike, I thought, kept us in the game. He hit a couple big threes when it looked like things were going away, and he kind of kept us in, and Braden kind of caught fire in the third quarter, and then Shikari had a really nice game. And so, you don't want to count on being able to do those types of things offensively every night. We're going to have to get better on the defensive end, but it was nice. It's nice this year to have that, to where we can win even on nights where we don't get stops.
Well, and looking back now, obviously you don't want to proclaim an early season win to be one that is that might overshadow some other wins down the stretch. But how important was winning a game like that to the team for the rest of this season?
I think huge. Because if we lose last night I felt like we played well. If we would have lost last night playing well, having the lead in the fourth quarter, all those things, I think for our confidence, that would have been really tough to bounce back from. And I think there's so many times that you have to kind of go back and say, hey, this situation happened before and we were okay to do it. And last year, and I know it's a completely different team, but there are some kids. Last year, we lose that game, and that kind of weighs on you. And to be able to win one like this early against a quality opponent, I think it's really big for us going forward.
I want to mention two kids. Talk about the offense. I know Pike Fitz and Shakari are getting a lot of credit right now. Two kids that kind of stand out in my mind. Three kids that are battling. Gilwan Nelson, Doug Gardner, and especially last night, Dylan Reeves. Guys that did not do a lot of point scoring, but did those little fundamental things that don't show up in a box score, but helped you big time last night to get a win.
Oh yeah, I told Dylan after the game, I really mean this, that we don't win last night even close without him. He was as valuable as anybody else on the floor. I thought he did a tremendous job, not only defensively, but I thought he got about 3 or 4 offensive rebounds that kept the play alive to where we ended up scoring on that possession. And that's all because of him. If he doesn't go get those, that's 3 or 4 times we don't score throughout the game and we get beat. He has given us huge minutes. Doug Gardner last night. I mean, he's not 6 foot for sure. And he's guarding, starting out the game, their 6'8" kid. He's guarding their 6'7" kid when he comes off the bench. And I mean, we're asking a lot of Doug. I mean, that's not easy when you're 5'10", 5'11" to be guarding a 6'8" kid. But Doug battled, did a nice job on him. And then Gilwan, I know after the game was frustrated. He didn't do a lot offensively. We told him, you don't have to score to help your team. I mean, Dylan Reeves has been as big as our MVP as anybody, and he hasn't scored the last 2 games. You don't have to score to help. And Gilwan's going to have nights where he scores a little bit for us, and he's going to have nights like last night where he doesn't. And we need a lot of different roles to step up on this team. And we've had that early. It's got to continue. And there's going to be nights where we're going to need, some other guys to score. It's just not going to be every night. And then when you get a night like last night when everything's going right for, Braden's hitting a lot of shots, Shakari scoring in the second half, Jake's been very, very consistent. We just need when we're having a night like that, we just need those other guys to give us what they've been doing.
Of course, taking a look at the rest of the tournament, obviously last night the championship, and it's a big win. But, as we're name-dropping here, a kid who I thought has been huge at times throughout the tournament, Luke Wilson, of course, comes off of the bench. I believe had 8 points in the second quarter against Salem to really kind of help spark that comeback win. And all in all, I mean, it seems like you're getting not only great performances out of what I'm now almost referring to as the big three, obviously Shakari, Braden, and Pike. But as Danny mentioned, Dylan Reeves and Gilwan Nelson, but it's like Luke Wilson has been able to give you quality minutes off of the bench too, and having those types of kids are going to be huge down the stretch, getting you that depth.
It is, yeah. I mean, the Salem game, that's a great event because I don't know what happens there if Luke doesn't come in and hit those shots in the second quarter. I mean, we were trailing at the time, and he comes in, hits 2 threes and a 2, and I thought last night Luke gave us really good minutes when he came in. Last night was a game where we were playing all right, and you want to get more subs in, but it's just tough to do that. And I think a couple of our guys will really benefit by playing some JV minutes and kind of getting a little bit of for them getting a comfort zone and getting some confidence, and for us getting some confidence in them and being able to see them. So it's only 4 games. Our conference is brutal. I mean, if you look around what our conference has been doing in these first tournaments, it's every night. It's only going to get tougher from here on out. We've got the game tonight, and then we get into conference play, and every game is going to get tougher than the last. But we're going to have to keep getting. I mean, for us to be, the margins are small. For us to be able to stay competitive, we're going to have to continue getting the offensive production from those 3, and then we're going to have to keep getting the great play around them. And it's great to get off a start like this, but it's also a long season, and like I said, it's not going to get any easier for sure.
You have less than 12 hours. How do you get your team out of the clouds, back on the ground, Casey Kasem style, and get them focused for tonight, not overlook Solday?
That's going to be tough. I think it's tougher to get a team down after a win than it is to get a team up after a loss. we're going to come in and practice today and just really try to stress the importance of going hard and playing with a lot of emotion. And it's been a good tournament, but it won't be a great tournament unless we take care of business tonight. I think just trying to do things like we've been doing, have a long scouting report, really try to go over their kids and what they do well. And I told our kids last night, tonight can be a game where you come out, you play your butts off, you have fun, you have some success, and you really end this tournament on a high note. Or you go through the motions, you think that you're better than what you are, and then it's misery. Win or lose, it's misery. And so I hope our kids come to practice today with the attitude of we got unfinished business. And I think if we do that, I think if we come out tonight and play as hard as we've played last night, I think we'll be fine. It's just the worry of we've won the tournament, we're 4-0, we just beat Collinsville, Soldan's 0-4, we don't really need to go hard tonight. I mean, if we have that attitude, it's going to be miserable because they gave Collinsville all they wanted, and they're the type of team that if they get on a roll, they can play better than what they've looked. But I think they're also a team that if you get them down, you can really get after them.
Final question for you, because we know you got to get after and get practice going and get focused, is our social media question of the week. And we asked this question: what is the toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
They're all tough for me because I don't really do much of it. So I would have to defer on that. I don't hang up anything.
Now, see, that's not what I read on Twitter, because I saw earlier in the week it posting about the Christmas tree was going up, so my hopes were high.
I did put up the Christmas tree, but my wife had to come down and redo it because I didn't get the lights off, and it's one of those pre-lit things, and I didn't get the lights connected right. So
I
put it up, but it had to be changed.
Don't feel bad. There is another boys basketball coach south from Benton that also got in trouble for not doing it. You can figure out who now. So don't feel bad. You are not the only one that got in trouble as well.
No, anything around the house I'm pretty terrible at.
Well, luckily you're a good coach. Team is 4-0. Go for 5-0 tonight. Scott, good luck to the Rams. We'll see you tonight.
All right, thanks a lot. See you guys tonight.
That's Scott Gamber, head coach of the 4-0 Pyramid Plus Tournament Mount Vernon Rams. And, you wonder if maybe in the next contract can't negotiate the tournament remaining at Heron on a permanent basis. Obviously 8-1 combined at Heron the last 2 of the last 3 years. Obviously 09 is bird of a different feather, but 11-13 very kind.
They haven't lost a game there, have they?
Heron.
Yeah, they did. They lost to Heron.
Does that count though? Because that's a home game for them. Not really neutral court. Neutral court games. They're undefeated out of the last 2 or 3 years. Of course, 09 I think was 3-2 or 2-3 or something. But that is what it is. Speaking of, Jeff London, of course, head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams, will join us next here on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX Mount Vernon. Bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, of course. It's all powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS, that's 1-888-LANDERS.
Your spine is a miracle of engineering, so when pain strikes, your body is telling you to get help fast. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois is proud to feature their spine care team. Doctors Kowalski and Smith, the professionals at Orthopedic Center, specialize in back and neck pain. So put our spine care team on the job. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com. Stop the pain, fix the problem, and enjoy life again. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
And we welcome you back, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski alongside. So glad to have you with us, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Trying to catch up with Mount Vernon Lady Rams head basketball coach Jeff Lon, and of course, phone's probably on silent this morning. That happens. Probably getting a good night's sleep, getting the Lady Rams ready for tonight's matchup, of course. In the 5th place game of the Nashville tournament, they'll battle the Triad Lady Knights at 5 o'clock. 4:45 will be your pregame on AM 940. You can find audio at WMIXsports.com. But when you look at the Lady Rams, obviously, you start to go a little bit of the case of maybe getting back in the championship game, a little bit of that mentality when you see a 41-19 win over Oakville on Monday night. And then you see how Oakville performs with the rest of the tournament. Lady Rockets, of course, struggling in the early onset of this 2013-2014 season. But I think a less than favorable matchup yesterday afternoon against Massac County. Massac, as we talked about, heavy guard play, and, of course, will intensely pressure the heck out of you. And the Lady Rams looked a little bit gassed toward the end of yesterday's game, and from having listened to the post-game interview Jeff Lonan did last night on AM 940, it really sounded like that took the wind out of their sails last night in the game against Mascoutah, a little bit gassed.
Well, you get in a situation running up and down the floor with Massac, and of course Mount Vernon played the late game both times yesterday, so they had a decent amount of rest. In some tournaments you don't get that opportunity. You look at Massac, who forced 30 turnovers yesterday by my count, officially on Mount Vernon. They're a team that gets up and down the floor. They're constantly pressuring, playing man-to-man. They're after you full court. And eventually, if you don't have a good guard or two, you're going to get wore out. And Mount Vernon got tired yesterday toward the end. I thought Jeff Lonan did a very good job of strategically calling timeouts, try to keep his team in it. Mount Vernon played a good Massac team that got into the sectional final last year in 3A at Waterloo to 3 points. I thought that was a good step forward for his team. And, of course, then you got to turn around and play Mascoutah last night. Mascoutah's a very good team. So it's a tough break. It's a tough thing. But those 2 games and today's game against Triad will be learning experiences for sure for Mount Vernon as they go along this season.
Well, and there's no doubt about that. And, of course, Hannah Owens had a great game yesterday, as to be expected. Courtney Scarborough has had a decent tournament, as I understand. And, when you take a look at what this team is made of, obviously this is a great tournament for them to be in with the likes of Nashville. Of course, it is pool play, and you're not going to see Nashville unless you get to a championship game more than likely. But, you take a look at what this tournament is comprised of, and you look at a Nashville-Massac championship game tonight, of course, that one has the makings to be a decent game, but trying to get past Nashville at home is going to be a difficult task, as Collinsville found out last night. Of course, Jordy Hari, an all-world performance in the final 90 seconds to really give Nashville that win, 39-37 over Collinsville. And, until somebody knocks them off, the Hornets have to be the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Massac County. But when you're playing Nashville, they do things to disrupt you so much offensively that you can't count the Hornets out. Of course, Hornets won their tournament last year. But Massac is a type of team, and we didn't see it yesterday. They didn't shoot the ball really well. If Massac can make some shots, then they can set their press up and they can get after you full court. If they can't, then they have to pick up on the fly, obviously, if they miss shots, and then they move down and play about three-quarter man-to-man or whatever. But if Massac hits shots and can get Nashville up and down at a pace, they're going to be in trouble. I think also Massac has a lot of depth off the bench, which really helps them wear teams down, as you saw with Mount Vernon yesterday. Just wear them down physically, mentally. By the end of the game, they've got you. But Nashville home and Nashville anywhere is a different game to play. That's for certain.
Well, and then the Hornets struggled in the first half yesterday against Freeburg. And so then you struggle against Collinsville, and you give Wayne Hari 12, 13, 14, 24 hours to work with, practice, run the heck out of. And so, you take a look at that chip that'll probably be on their shoulders tonight. And again, you look at them, but Massac, as you mentioned, defensively is just so good. And if they're on all cylinders, are going to be a pretty good team this year. And you start to kind of look at the river to river, although those two are in two different divisions, but you start to look ahead. Carterville's having a decent season thus far. They played Carbondale close the other night after winning the Marion tournament. And you start to look at some of these potential matchups like a Murfreesboro-Massac or a Carterville-Nashville. And out of the river to river on both sides, you start to like what you see as the season gets underway after these tournaments.
Well, these two won't see each other unless there's a tournament down the road. I don't recall either one of them being wrestled away. Massac will go 3A, Nashville will go 2A. So this is just one of those interesting matchups that, because of a tournament, we get to see, just to kind of see where Nashville's at as far as they are right now, trying to find their way through, and where Massac's at, as far as 3A schools in Southern Illinois as well.
No doubt about that. Of course, the Nashville Invitational on the girls' side will wrap up today. The Lady Rams and Triad in the fifth-place game at 5 p.m. That'll be on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com with a 4:45 pregame. Don't forget the Rams and Soldan International Studies Tigers will be at 7 o'clock tonight. The Rams looking to go 5-0 and go perfect in the pyramid. That game will be 7 o'clock, 6:45 pregame, WMIX 94.1. Video online at WMIXsports.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk Nashville Hornet basketball with Brad Weathers. He is the head coach of Nashville. Of course, that's after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Kidneys has a big impact on your overall health, affecting everything from your blood pressure to your bones. And if you ever have a kidney problem, Dr. Kangura is here to help. Dr. Kangura trained at the Mayo Clinic and specializes in conditions ranging from kidney stones and uncontrolled high blood pressure to chronic kidney disease. Dr. Kangura sees patients at Crossroads Specialty Clinic. For an appointment, call 618-241-9071.
We've all had dreams of being king or queen. Now's your chance. Hi, Roy Schmidt Lincoln dealer at Ford Square, Mount Vernon. The 2013 Lincoln MKX makes the perfect throne. With all of its splendor and majesty, the 2013 Lincoln MKX continues to be the king of the crossovers. With heated and cooled front seats, panoramic vista roof, and available ambient lighting, you'll wish you would have been driving the MKX sooner. It truly is fit for a king and queen. Drive away in brand new luxury when you trade in any 1995 or newer vehicle and pay only $35,625 plus tax, title, and destination on a 2013 Lincoln MKX. With this amazing deal, our remaining selections won't last. Hurry and see one of our sales associates at Ford Square Mount Vernon or view our selection of Lincoln Luxury online at fordsquare.com and find us on Facebook.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXsports.com. With Danny Zerwinski, I'm Chris Hugo. We appear courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Privileged to welcome our next guest. He is the head coach of the Nashville Hornets, who are 1-0 on the season as they beat Westland last night, 59-46 in the Lebanon Thanksgiving tournament. It's Brad Weathers. Coach, good morning.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good. I have to imagine you're doing very well. You get a nice start with a win, of course, last night at the Lebanon tournament, 59-46 over Westland. And anytime you can start your season off with a win, you must be doing something right.
Well, we got off to start. There were some, like any typical first games, there were some very good signs, and there were some signs of areas that we knew that we need to work on and get better on. And really, you need that first game to get out of the way to determine some of that.
A lot of expectations for your team, obviously, after a sectional final appearance last year. You get in back with Royce Newman leading the way as far as who everybody looks to. But I like what you said in the paper. A lot of expectations, but if your team wants to meet that, your team's got to put in the work in this basketball season.
Well, right. And, we've got high expectations for this team. There's a lot of good teams in the area. I know Carlisle was ranked very highly, and Harrisburg and some of the area conference teams, Carterville, Piggyville, they're going to be good. But, the preseason poll is just that. It's preseason. A lot of it's based on how you finished last year. We don't put a whole lot of stock in it. It's nice to have the recognition, for the community and the program, and it's fun for the fans. But it really doesn't mean anything as far as accomplishing a thing.
Well, the Lebanon Turkey Tournament, Nashville's been a part of that probably, I think, since the beginning of this tournament was brought together. A very difficult tournament to start out. Of course, you get Westland last night, a team that's been very good for many years. And then you have the likes of Madison and a prep school called Madison, College of Prep Madison, and everything else. It's a very difficult run, but I think the span of the week allows you to play some games, practice some things up, and play some more games against quality competition at Lebanon.
Well, you are right. The tournament is very tough this year. Matter of fact, it's as tough as I can remember, just from top to bottom in the tournament. Westland is missing probably 3 starters right now, and they had to play 5 guards, so they're injured right now. They've got their a couple of several-year starters are not in right now. But with Madison, Illinois, a couple of transfers, they got college prep at Madison. Anybody follows, they won the 3A state tournament in Missouri last year. A couple of their kids were D1 recruits. I know one of them's playing for John Logan right now, Markavian, and he's the leading scorer for them, I believe. I've seen, at least in the newspaper, he's been their leading scorer on several occasions. Freeburg has a 6'10" kid named Beaker who signed with Kennesaw State. So, it's wake-up time. It's not an easy tournament this year. We're going to get to see some, very quality people right off the bat.
Looking at your team this year, of course, we mentioned Royce Newman going to get a lot of the ink as far as players coming back. Talk about some of your other kids you're relying on this year at Nashville.
Well, we've got to do some things to get the basketball to Royce. He does an awful good job down low and a big, strong kid. But you're right, we don't have the teammates to go along with him and get those things done. We can't be very good. We've got seniors. Keegan Anderson's a 3-year starter for us at the guard spot. Hunter Beatley, who came off the bench last year, started last night. He's 6'3", forward. He saw a lot of minutes last year also. Clint Johannes is about almost 6'7" kid. He's senior. He played a lot of minutes for us last night and is continuing to improve. We've got Walker Johnson, guard, comes off the bench, another senior. Chris Meyer. Juniors, Dylan Mueller started for us last night. He's about 6'6", played guard, I think, when he was a freshman, and he handled the ball a little bit, so that's kind of an added attribute for him. Daniel Thorson is a kind of a third-year starter for us. He came off the bench as a freshman for us, and he's one of the 3 kids. Thorson, Anderson, and Newman are the 3 that have the most experience for us coming in off the bench. Over the last few years. Kyle Jasper, who came off the bench last year at the point guard, he got hurt in the last football game. He's a 5'11" senior. He'll help the cause when hopefully he'll be released here in the next week or so. And we'll get a chance maybe to get back in shape. Hopefully by Christmas time he'll be ready to go. So we're thin at the guard spots, extremely deep at the forward and center spot. I'm trying to think. Last night we even had a couple of sophomores besides Royce Newman play. Brady Boltman and 2 sophomores. Brady Boltman, sophomore, and Hayden Hagebar's freshman guards. Got kind of thrown into the fire early. But Troy Petke's another junior. We played 11 kids last night, 11, I believe, maybe 12. So we've got quite a bit of depth. Just to fit at the guard spots right now, and we're making some people play a little bit outside their comfort zone at the guard spot, but that should make us better down the road.
Well, better down the road indeed, and obviously big Nashville Hornets fans here, but brings us to our final question, however, and we want to know this week on the WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week, what is the most difficult Christmas decoration to put up?
The most difficult? Probably the angel on top of the tree.
Can be, especially with a tall tree. No doubt about
That's
that.
my first guess off the top of my head.
See, it wasn't that bad, was it?
Do what?
I said that question wasn't that bad. You were all worried yesterday at the tournament. I told you it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
Coach, good luck to the Hornets, of course, throughout the rest of the Lebanon tournament. We look forward to talking to you again soon here on the Saturday Sports Show.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
That's Brad Weathers, of course, famed head coach of the Nashville Hornets, and they are 1-0 on the season. Again, beat Westglen last night. I believe still coached by Mr. Wilson, former Nashville Hornet, of course, Hornet great. So that said, we need to talk to a great from McLeansboro. Keith Welch, of course, will join us after a break here on the Saturday Sports Show. It's all powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. Sunshine to patchy clouds throughout the day, high 51. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 32. Variable cloudiness throughout tomorrow, high 50. And Monday will be mostly cloudy, high 46. Partly sunny skies on Tuesday, high 51. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Renly College's Adult Volunteer Literacy Program is looking for volunteers to help stop adult illiteracy. Give the gift of reading and be a hero forever. Renly College will provide you with training and materials to help adults develop the basic reading ability needed to excel. You can work one-on-one, tutor a small group, or work with students in an adult education classroom. Experience the joy of helping others and change a life. Call Renly College's Volunteer Partnership toll-free at 800-369-5321, extension 1342.
A digestive problem can affect every area of your life, but now there's a specialist right here in town who focuses on digestive health. Mayo Clinic trained Dr. Tegpaul Atwal has opened the only gastroenterology clinic in Mount Vernon. Dr. Atwal treats acid reflux, gallbladder problems, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, and more. For your appointment with Dr. Atwal at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 618-241-9071.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski, Jeff Crow in studio as well, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Our next guest is the head coach of the McLeansboro Foxes. He is Keith Welch. Coach, good morning.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Going pretty well. I have to imagine, though, that by now, obviously, the Foxes starting off at the DuQuoin tip-off, which is a week after Thanksgiving. Have to imagine you guys are beyond ready to get the season going.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We just had our 25th practice this morning. We're actually in it right now. The kids are ready to play. We're ready to play. See where we're at and get back to work on things.
25th practice, you said?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, you know what? What I like to see is, I remember, and I think you're old enough to remember, back in the day, Hamilton County and DuQuoin, which, obviously was McLeansboro, used to have some very good basketball matchups. You also have to play Carroll, of course. They were in your conference at one time, but nice to see that Hamilton County and DuQuoin and Hamilton County and Carroll batching back up next week at DuQuoin. Brings back some memories.
Yeah, it does, especially when I was playing. I remember a lot of games in that, and it's also good for us, too, to play some other opponents. We play Carmine and El Dorado, a possibility of 4 times a year, and it was just a good fit for us to get in and go play some other different teams.
Your team last year had some inexperience, but this year you return a bunch of people and 4 seniors that are all started at one point or another in the last couple of years. Talk about your team, your players that are coming back for this basketball season.
Yeah, like you said, we've got 4 seniors back. Nathan Osman has started since a sophomore. He's a very, very intelligent kid, has really worked on his shot and his defense over the summer. Logan Billington played point guard for us last year. He had to make a switch the week before the season started because we had a couple kids that didn't want to come out anymore. So he switched over last year and played point guard for us and did a real good job with a week's worth of notice. Bailey Gay and Travis Stevens are 2 big banger post players that we have back that have all started as juniors also. Junior kids, right now we've got 7 or 8 junior kids that are all looking to push for some time for us at the varsity level. Tucker Braden, he's a 6'2" swing guy. Doing a real good job for us right now, along with Jace Catone. He's a guard that we have, a good shooter. He's worked really hard the offseason in the weight room on his quickness and his shot.
Looking at your schedule, this is one change I noticed. Obviously, you go from the Harrisburg tournament to The DuQuoin tournament. What was the thought process behind switching those tournaments?
That's what I thought. We Carmine and El Dorado are both in the Harrisburg tournament, and they're also in our conference, and we have a shot at seeing them in regionals as well as at the holiday tournament. So it was a good fit for us to switch over and play a floor of Vandalia, Cairo, and DuQuoin, who we won't see during the regular season, and we're not playing those guys 3 and 4 times a year. So I thought it was a good fit for us.
The Black Diamond Conference on the eastern side, usually very tough. Carmi, El Dorado, Fairfield, Johnson City, and Vienna this year. Anybody in your mind right now that stands out as kind of a prohibitive favorite as far as that side of the conference goes?
Carmi, Fairfield, and Johnson City all have a ton back. I mean, they all are returning the majority of their starters, if not all of them. Vienna's much improved. Coach Waters does a good job over there. And El Dorado, we played them this summer with the transfers and stuff they got. They're very competitive, and they're going to be pretty tough this year too. So I'd say if I had to pick, Johnson City, Carmi, and Fairfield will be the top runners in our conference.
You look at your team, and I look at you. You're a Hamilton County guy coaching Hamilton County. What does that mean when you're a Hamilton County guy coaching your alma mater?
It means the world to us. Right now, all we're trying to do is get our kids to have confidence in themselves. Unfortunately, with the way that our sports program has went the last couple of years, the kids aren't confident. I feel this year that we have the athletic ability and the talent. It's just to get the kids to believe in themselves. And they're starting to do it better, and you see signs of it. But when they start believing in themselves, we've got enough athletes and enough schools to be successful this year, but we just got to get them to buy in.
Later on this year, of course, you go to the El Dorado tournament. You also play at the BIT and the Midwinter tournament. Other non-conference games that are on your schedule that have improved your schedule since last year?
We really didn't make any adjustments on our non-conference. We play Woodlawn, who's every year good. Waltonville, we play every year. Benton, we play. Just is the same teams, really, and we try to beef it up as much as possible and play good competition.
Of course, talking about McLeansboro Foxes basketball, always legendary, always household names that come through. Who are some names this year that we'll get to hear and read about and see as this season progresses?
I would say Logan Billington, Nathan Osman, our 4 seniors, Bailey Gay, Travis Stevens. Tucker Braden has had a really good summer and a really good offseason, both Jake Scacone for our juniors, and there's a plethora of other juniors. Right now, we go out and play. I'm looking to play 8 or 9 guys, which is a good thing.
Let's get to the real business of the world and talk to real basketball business. Kentucky basketball. How many games have you been to, or how many games you plan to go to this year?
To tell you the truth, I haven't been to one this year. I'm real upset about it. How many have you been to?
I haven't been to any yet either. I figure by now you've been to about 3 or 4.
I usually have been to at least one by now, but I didn't get tickets this year for some reason, so I haven't got to see him play yet.
I think the sense of urgency that you and I need to have for as far as getting to a game needs to kind of flow over to our team on the floor about as far as playing with that sense of urgency.
Yeah, we need to do that. That'd be great.
And I'm sure you get hounded every day by your AD over there about being a Kentucky fan like I do once in a while.
Oh, yeah, and then I got a freshman coach that's an Indiana fan, and Jeremy Varner now, so I got to listen to him all the time, too.
And there's not much to listen to him as far as that program's concerned, but, hey, it is what it is. Hey, our final question for you, we know you probably got your practice going on today, is our social media question of the week. And this week's question is, what is the toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
Toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
Mm-hmm.
At my house, we've got this huge wreath that goes on the front of the house, and as many times as I've tried, I've had to rehang it 3 or 4 times because it never gets straight. So for me, that's the toughest one to do.
Nice. How high up and how big is this wreath?
The wreath is probably, 6 foot wide, and it hangs on top of our big window on our front kick out of our house, and it doesn't matter every time. I'll make sure it's perfectly straight, but by the time she gets home, Savannah gets home, it's crooked, so we got to redo it.
Hey, I got some scoop for you. There's a basketball coach that went to Hamilton County. He can't put a Christmas tree up either. You know, idea who I'm talking about? Straight east of you, or west of you, I should say.
They where now?
Straight west of Hamilton County on 14.
Yeah, he can't do it either.
No, he got in trouble.
He can't do anything right. He has to help with everything.
Yeah, so if in case you want to say something, a little jab of the day or sometime, just, don't say where it came from, but you know who it is.
Yeah, I'll get on him a little bit. He's a real good basketball coach, but as far as high school stuff, he's got to have a lot of help with everything he does.
Coach Welch, you guys get started at the DuQuoin Tip-Off Classic this week. Good luck to the Foxes.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Keith Welch, of course, head coach of McLeansboro Foxes basketball. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll run down some more scores here from your WMIXSports.com scoreboard. Here on the Saturday Sports Show, it's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
There's a good reason why Second Chance Auto has been in business for 33 years. They believe in doing business the right way, with honest deals. It's the only way they know. And thanks to Second Chance Auto, you don't have to head out of town to get financing. They offer bank rate financing to everyone. Yes, everyone. You'll find a great selection of quality vehicles with 3-month or 3,000-mile warranties. Come see why they've been successful for 33 years at Second Chance Auto. Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 244-4582.
If you can't pick us up where you live, move. This is WMIX, Mount Vernon, Marion, another Withers Broadcasting Station.
What does technology sound like? Is it the clang of heavy machinery, the beeps and chirps of an electronic gadget? At the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center, technology sounds a little something like this.
It's the sound of a young girl excited because her mom's being released the same day as her minimally invasive surgery. Thanks to the Da Vinci surgical robot, our surgeons' hand motions are seamlessly translated into smaller, more precise movements. But surgery isn't the only way Good Samaritan is raising the bar for advanced healthcare in Southern Illinois.
That's the sound of a patient's health record being updated and stored electronically for immediate access by nurses, primary care doctors, and specialists alike. That's why soon, the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center will use all electronic patient health records. Less paper translates to faster, better care for you. And that sounds a little something like this.
The new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Oh, yes, it is. Past the top of the hour here. Of course, we identified ourselves a moment ago. Getting quickly to some more scores from the WMIXSports.com scoreboard. It's loaded from last night. Check it out.
At the Crab Orchard tournament yesterday afternoon, Crab beat Nongola 82-50. Hardin County beat Alvarado 56-44, and Pope County beat Joppa 57-52. At Cumberland, Dietrich beat Powell Hutt 65-45. Chrisman beat Cumberland 58-32. Neoga over Oblong 44-42. And Newton beat Martinsville 70-36. At Grayville, Galatia beat Grayville 64-61. NCOE beat Sisney 47-27. At Lebanon yesterday, Madison beat Lebanon 73-55. Madison College Prep, coached by Floyd Iron's son. Floyd Iron's a big time at Vashon in Missouri for those basketball buffs. Beat Piasaw 81-38. Nashville beat Westland 59-46. And Columbia beat Freeburg 59-48. At Lincoln last night, the Rail Splitters host that tournament. Danville beat Koki in overtime 70-63. Centennial beat Morton 67-47. And Lincoln beat Chicago Harlan 62-41. At Metro East last night, CORL beat DuPo 75-50. Roxanne over Valmeyer 66-31. East Alton Wood River beat CORL 53-44. In the battle of longest team names ever, Valmeyer beat Mont Ali 54-31. Jabot beat Roxanne, as Jabot looks very good early, 50-42. East Alton Wood River beat DuPo 57-31, and Litchfield beat Metro East Lutheran 77-70. One more, and we'll stop here. Cowden Herrick beat Sandoval 69-45. Patoka over Ramsey 58-49, and Odin beat Mulberry Grove 65-46 at the Mulberry Grove tournament. that, of course, those are all high school boys scores brought to you by WMIXsports.com. Go there for more. We'll get to more later as well.
Yeah, we'll touch on some girls basketball scores a little bit later on as well from Nashville, McLeansboro, Harrisburg. We've got quite a bit up there, and it'd be a mouthful to read them all. But we do need to take another break. We'll come back. We'll talk Red Devils basketball with Cesternville head coach Shane Garner. We'll talk about their upcoming season and where they go from here. This is the Saturday Sports Show from WMIX Sports. It's all powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Backaches, bad hips, rickety knees? Why not try aquatic therapy? The Red Lake College Aquatic Center has more than a swimming pool. Try a 6-lane, 75-foot lap pool along with a whirlpool 10 feet in diameter and a 10-foot by 20 hydrotherapy pool. Aquatic therapy is very affordable. In many cases, the tuition is waived entirely. With special access and dressing areas for the elderly and physically challenged, getting in the water is easy. Experts are on hand to assist with various areas of aquatic fitness and rehab. Call 437-5321 extension 1207 or visit rlc.edu.
This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Wilt. I want to thank Mount Vernon and the surrounding area for continuing to support us over the past 5 years. If you have never sat down with someone to go over your insurance program, let me invite you into our office. Let us show you what working with the industry leader, represented by a local agent, can do for you. I'm located just off 42nd Street. You can reach our office 24 hours a day at 242-1421 or on the web at tonywilt.com. Thanks again, and go Rams.
Mount Vernon is home to many wonderful people and things, and that includes quality cardiac care from Dr. Ruzaik Ibrahim, a skilled cardiologist. Dr. Ibrahim's training and scientific accomplishments have earned his designation as a Fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His services range from preventative care to the treatment of advanced heart conditions. For an appointment with Dr. Ibrahim at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 241-9071 or visit in person at 4113 South Water Tower, Mount Vernon.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Jeff Crow in studio with us as well as we talk with the head coach of the Cesternville Red Devils. He is Shane Garner in his first season. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
You know what, pretty good. I have to imagine the butterflies may be starting to kick in. Is the regular season going to be here for you guys, I believe, on Tuesday night when you travel to El Dorado and Black Diamond Conference play? No Thanksgiving tournament, of course, for Cesternville, but things are almost ready to go for Red Devil basketball this season. What is going through your mind right now as Tuesday draws nearer?
Right now we're just kind of, we're just tightening the bolts to everything. We're getting ready to take off from practice here. This will be our, 16th practice of the season. We had a scrimmage last night. So then we're ready to play somebody in a different color right now. We've seen each other for the past 3 weeks, and our guys they're ready to go, and they're just ready to play somebody other than ourselves right now.
Already in the first few weeks of practice, moving over one chair from assistant coach to head coach, what's the difference been for you?
The organizational part of it, having practice prepared, having your coaching staff prepared to know exactly what you want out of certain things, and then, also communicating that to the players. It's, I've always been taught it's not what, I know, it's what everybody else knows. And so the biggest part is trying to get my ideas and my thoughts out of my head to my coaching staff and also to our players. That way we're all on the same page.
Looking at your team this year, you take over, of course, for Chip Basso, who's now the full-time AD. Talk about some of the kids that are returning this year as far as helping your team out.
At point guard, we returned Nick Marlowe. He started starting at point guard last year, about halfway through the season. He'll be our rock on both ends of the floor. He's he's voted team captain. He's our leader, and a lot of guys rely off of him and his energy and his leadership. We returned two more seniors who shared some starting time last year, in Jordan Gunner and Tyler Baxter, and they look to make a big impact this year. We returned a center and Nick McCarty, who played some good minutes last year at JV ball, And also, 3 more guards who'll help us out here is Logan Barrett, who's also a junior, Jake Vanley, who's a junior, and also Luke Thompson. And all 3 of those guys are juniors.
Look at a lot of experience coming back, and, of course, looking at your schedule. Of course, at Alvarado, at West Frankfort to start the year. Of course, Alvarado has already had some games in at Crab Orchard. That'll be their 6th game compared to your first. How do you overcome that advantage where Alvarado's had so many games to get to play already compared to your opening night?
It's funny. We were just talking about that last night. Is they've got almost 2 or 3 weeks of the season already in just 1 week, and that's going to be a big hurdle for us because they've played in front of people. They've played against other teams, and they have already seen some of the things they need to work on. We haven't played anybody yet, so that's a big hurdle. Our big thing is we search out for our weaknesses. That way we can work on them to get better. And the only way you can truly see those is by playing other teams. And so they have a big advantage on this because of all the games that they've already gotten in and the work that they've been able to put in to kind of correct some of the mistakes they've been having.
I look at your schedule, of course, at West Frankfort. That's a nice pickup as far as non-conference goes, a team I think Cesar Valera and others obviously in the county should play too as well. And then you have Chester and Johnson City home before going to Christopher and hosting your tournament. That's a nice opening stretch to kind of get a gauge for your team heading into the holidays.
Oh, yeah, very nice. And we love being able to play West Frankfort. They're a good river school, a good pickup for us. We always enjoyed being in their midwinter tournament when we were in it in the past. They're very gracious hosts, and we love having them on the schedule. And then Johnson City, with Wade Thomas, we're going to get a great plan, a great coach team, and they're going to be prepared. And then Chester with the success that Coach Norman's been having in the past couple of years with them, it is a very nice stretch for us, a very good run, and we'll hopefully know pretty close where we're going to be at heading into the Christmas tournament.
And later on down the line, of course, the BIT. Cesar's been in that for a few years. And you had the Pinkneyville Shootout. You also have Carrier Mills on the schedule and Woodlawn as well. Those are some very nice pickups. At Carrier Mills game right after the holiday tournament, I think it's a big one too because Carrier Mills is usually very competitive and a tough place to play.
Yes, and it'll be good for our kids because there's not an easy way to get there. It's a long bus ride. It's going to be one of those games we're going to have to be mentally prepared and mentally tough just to get there to be ready to play, not just to play against them. So it's going to be a good situation for our kids to be able to mentally prepare, not just to play the game, but also to get to the game.
I'm looking at the Black Diamond West, and I see obviously Goreville, Cesar, Valera, Christopher ZR plays tonight in the title game at Christopher. You always have Trico there with Mike Denault. This is a very difficult side of the conference. I'll let you have the first bullseye. Who do you have as a favorite to win that side of the conference?
Right now, I think you have to go with Goreville with what they're returning. Zeke Snell is he's kind of a man among boys, and with his success he had last year, he's returning MVP of the conference. He's developed his game even more. He's a fantastic athlete, and he is someone with size that we don't see a whole lot, especially this year in our conference. I know, size-wise we're down, and some other schools are too. So I see Goreville right now kind of being at the top starting it off.
Busy day. I know you got practice coming up. We'll leave you with our last question. It's our social media question of the week this week. And our question is, what is the toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
I usually don't get too much influence on that. I don't get to hang up too many decorations. But the one thing I do get to hang up is the star on the Christmas tree. So it's I take a lot of responsibility in that. So I think it's my toughest just because it's the centerpiece of the tree.
There's no pressure on you, though, is there really?
Yeah.
Is there any pressure on you to do that at all?
A little bit, yeah.
To get it straight and get it right?
Yeah, it has to be moved a couple times before it's finished, so.
Seems like there might be less pressure on Tuesday night when you guys open the season against Alvarado. Of course, Coach,
I'll be prepared.
We wish you the best of luck and look forward to talking Red Devil basketball with you again soon.
All right, thank you, guys.
That's Shane Grunner, of course, head coach. He'll make his head coaching debut with Red Devil basketball. Tuesday night, Alvarado, the Cesar Red Devils, will open up their season. They will be on the showcase. Of course, that game's at Elkville, by the way. They open up on the road, back-to-back games, of course, Tuesday and Friday. They're at Frankfort on Friday. But we will have the Red Devils a few times on the WMIX Sports Basketball Showcase. later on in the season. I think, before we go to our next guest, talking a little bit quickly about Red Devil basketball, I think if you're a Cessor fan or you live in Cessor, you have to be pretty excited. You have a young, energetic guy like Shane Garner, played for Rick Metcalf, of course, coming back and coaching this team and, taking Chip Basso's place, who's focusing on the AD role now. And I think you have to be pretty excited about what's to come with Red Devil basketball.
I think it's a good thing. You've got a guy in Shane Garner who grew up in the program, played in the program, understands the town, understands the people. And then, of course, has the alumni game last night and then the Red Devil night out. And then you get a guy with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and knows the ropes. He's been with Chip Basso on the side there for many years, including that run in 2010, second place in state. Guy that understands what's going on and everything else. And, of course, that's the main important thing, is that he understands what to do, and I think he'll do a great job down there at Cessor-Valier.
No doubt about that. A guy who's always done a great job everywhere he's been is Mike Denault. Of course, he coaches at Trico now, principal down there. We'll talk about the Pioneers' upcoming season, but we'll mostly talk about the Trico post-Thanksgiving tournament coming up next week. That's to come here on the Saturday Sports Show. Ron Weinmiller's still to come as well as talk about a potential DuQuoin Alvarado football co-op. All ahead here on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. Sunshine to patchy clouds throughout the day, high 51. Tonight will be partly cloudy, low 32. Variable cloudiness throughout tomorrow, high 50. And Monday will be mostly cloudy, high 46. Partly sunny skies on Tuesday, high 51. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
The golden rule: treat others how you would want to be treated. Do you feel that's the kind of service you're getting from your pharmacy? It can be hard to find good customer care nowadays, but at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Mount Vernon, that kind of service is our #1 priority. You have options when it comes to your prescription and medical equipment needs. Don't put up with poor service and long waits anymore. It's easy to switch. Call me today and let me show you why the Medicine Shop should be your new pharmacy.
As you just heard, pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black is committed to taking care of each and every customer that walks through his pharmacy doors. Stop by anytime and talk to Eric and his pharmacy staff. You'll soon find out why the Medicine Shop is your hometown pharmacy. Support the local community and give them a try. You'll be glad you did. Don't forget to take advantage of their free delivery, custom compounding service, medication planners, and so much more. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
It's back. The award-winning WMIX Sports Basketball Showcase has the very best in high school basketball this winter, and Community First Bank is along for the ride. Hi, this is Terry Prosize, a Vice President from Community First Bank of the Heartland. WMIX and WMIXSports.com will have the best games involving the Woodlawn Cardinals, Weber Trojans, Waltonville Spartans, Cessor-Valier Red Devils, and the Wayne City Indians. Tune in to WMIX and WMIX Sports for the showcase, presented by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski. Jeff Crow is with us as well, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Welcome to the program. He is the head coach of the Trico Pioneers, also principal at Trico High School. He is Mike Denault. Coach, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chris. How are you?
You know what? Pretty good. I have to imagine always excitement around the Trico post-Thanksgiving tournament. Gets underway next week, of course. Pioneers season, obviously, we get started with that tournament as well. But like we've been telling every coach who starts next week, you start a week later than some of the others. I have to imagine you are beyond ready to get this season going.
Well, I think our kids are ready for sure. We've been in action for several weeks here now, and they're ready to beat up on somebody besides each other. I think I'd probably like to have another week or so, but they're ready. So we need to get out there and see what we've got. Just kind of feel ourselves out and see what we need to work on in practice.
I think next week when it starts, I consider the Trico tournament as one of the more underrated tournaments in Southern Illinois. I mean, when you can throw in the likes of Redbud, Sparta, Steelville, Trico, you're throwing together, of course, with Shawnee as well. You're throwing together some pretty good basketball programs. It makes for a competitive week, and it has been for the last few years at Trico.
Yeah, and you got to throw Chester in there as well. They they won a regional championship last year, and none of us actually in this tournament beyond Redbud have a lot back, so we're all going to be searching for our identities. I know Sparta lost all 5 of their starters, as Chester lost 4. We lost 3. So there's a lot of young, inexperienced teams in this tournament, but as you said, it's been very competitive. We had a lot of good games last year, and I think it's probably more wide open this year than it has been.
Looking at your team this year in that Black Diamond West, of course, you lost a lot of players to graduation last year, and 3 guys in particular. Talk about the kids that you returned this year for this season.
Well, the 2 returning starters that I have back this year are Chase Rednauer. He's going to be a junior this year. He's our only size. He goes about 6'6", and pretty skilled kid. He can step out and shoot the 3 a little bit, and he's really good around the basket. His big thing is, he struggled to put on weight. He got a high metabolism, I guess, but we really had him in the weight room hard, and he's gotten a lot stronger. But he's going to be key for us as far as our interior defense and our rebounding efforts. So we don't have a lot of size beyond him, so he's really going to have to pick up the slack that we lost George Kuhlman and Blaine Lapeer inside, and there's 2'6'5" guys, and anytime you lose that kind of size, you got to look to other avenues to try to fill those voids. So Chase is going to be instrumental in filling those voids for us as far as our size. Kyle Hamill is our other returning starter. He's going to play the 2 for us again this year, and he's our best defender. He's our energy guy. He plays harder probably than any kid that on any team that we'll see. Gives us, he's good leadership. He leads well by example. Beyond that, we don't have a lot of experience back. We're going to start Jake Chapman at the point, start the season, and he did get to play quite a bit at the end of the season last year, so he did get a little bit of experience. Probably only the last 4 or 5 games, though, in the regionals. So he's not real seasoned, but he does have a little bit of experience. And then from there we go to Jordan Jones, who's another senior. He was probably one of our better players on the JV last year. He's a pretty good shooter, very fundamental kid. So we do have some skilled kids. The biggest thing that we lack is experience, and that's a lot of teams I think that we play on our schedule are going to deal with that as well. So it's not going to be. I don't think we're going to be at a major disadvantage in that regard.
Looking at your schedule, of course, you have your tournament next week, and you come back with single game at Oakville, always tough, and a weekend of Chester and at Alvarado before you go to the Carbondale Holiday Tournament. That's a very tough test for a team of your nature of the Class 1A this year.
Yeah, it is, and we always look forward to the Carbondale Holiday Tournament. It's a tough tournament, and we were able to win a game there last year against a pretty tough team out of St. Louis, and we won that game actually in overtime. And then we had to play a team out of Paducah, which we didn't fare very well against. They're bigger schools. It's a different style of basketball. It provides us with some opportunities to see how we handle pressure and deal with some athleticism and things of that nature. And as you said, we got Oakville right after this tournament, and they're the one of the what I would consider the class of 1A basketball, them and Woodlawn. So we got our work cut out for us early in the season.
Looking at the Black Diamond West, of course, Goreville, Trico, Setzer-Valera, of course, tonight Christopher ZR plays. Who do you think is a favorite going into the Black Diamond Western Division as this season begins?
Well, I think it's pretty open, but I'd have to go with Goreville, obviously, with him having Zeke Snell back. He was Conference Player of the Year last year. They've also got Kiefer Cavens back, who had some spot starts for him. Probably one of their 3 or 4 best players last year, but they started the 5 or 4 seniors and Snell. So I think they definitely have to be the favorite. But I think there are some teams. I think it's probably more open this year than it has been in the last couple of years, where Goreville was probably the odds-on favorite.
Our final question for you. We'll let you get ready to go for your day in practice. So we're talking about our social media question of the week, and this week's question is, what is the toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
The toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
Uh-huh.
That's a great question. I would say for me it'd be any of them, because I don't do a whole lot of that. Usually by the time that stuff happens on Saturdays while I'm at practice, by the time I get home, the wife and the kids got most of the Christmas decorations hung up. So I guess I get lucky in that respect that, that's one of the things that my kids really enjoy to do, and I don't typically get to be a part of that, but, we do enjoy the decorations together after they're hung, so I don't guess I have a good answer for that. It'd be any of them.
And there's certainly most Christmas decorations aren't easy. I mean, Christmas lights, the wreaths, anything that you would have to get up on a ladder to do. I mean, just sometimes we're better off just.
I do sometimes get to be part of untangling all those lights, which is kind of a pain. I guess that probably should have been my answer.
That's a good answer, because that is my biggest pet peeve. If they're just put up right in the first place, you don't have to worry about it. But sometimes who wants to battle with that? So, Coach, good luck to the Pioneers next week in the Trico tournament. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. That's Mike Denault, of course, Trico Pioneers head coach, principal at Trico High School, and glad to have him back in the area, of course, for his second season. But a familiar voice will be coming up. But as far as we talk about the WMIX Sports social media question, and which is your least favorite or the most difficult or the biggest pain in the rear end as far as Christmas decor, I'd have to say mine would be anything that requires climbing a ladder. Just because I don't have a fear of heights unless I'm on a roof or on a ladder. Does that make sense? Like having to hang Christmas lights like on the guttering or whatever. I could probably do that. But it scares me.
Christmas tree. Trying to get it up straight, lay it out, make sure all the ornaments are equal, even. That kind of deal.
You go real or fake?
Fake.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why did I just ask that? I knew that.
I don't know.
It's early, up late. There we go. Maybe there's a good excuse, but you know what they say about excuses. Ron Weinmiller, the Benton Rangers, will join us next here on the Saturday Sports Show after the commercial break. Brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Here's Jeff Schmidt for Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon.
We're moving out to remaining 2013 Chevy cars. The Malibu has been really selling hot right now. It gets great fuel economy, plus some very strong incentives. It makes this car very affordable, great fuel economy. It's selling well, and we're real proud of the Malibu.
Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Hi, Roy Schmidt, Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. The 2013 Chrysler 200 sedan could be the perfect recipe of beauty and luxury with an added pinch of safety. The 200 Touring has beauty outside with powerful LED accented headlamps, as well as precise chiseled profile. Inside, it's nothing but luxury with leather, heated seats, navigation, and Uconnect technology. With 0% financing or a total of $3,500 in incentives on the 2013 Chrysler 200, we are guaranteed to find a payment perfect for you. Chrysler is so confident in this IIHS top safety pick that they're offering a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty that is unmatched by Honda, Toyota, and Nissan. You must come see our associates at King City Chrysler, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, or shop us online at kingcitychrysler.com.
The sound of bouncing basketballs has replaced the pigskins flying through the air. Hi, this is Terry Prosize, a Vice President with Community First Bank of the Heartland. Hear all of the twine tickling action on WMIX and watch WMIXsports.com this winter. The Rams begin their season at the Pyramid Plus Tourney in Heron, while the Lady Rams celebrate Thanksgiving at Nashville. WMIX and WMIXsports.com are your home for high school basketball this winter, and every game powered by Community First Bank of the Heartland. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. It's all powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Still to come, we'll talk about the possibility of a football co-op between DuQuoin and Alvarado. That's to come on the Saturday Sports Show. Now we're talking Benton Rangers basketball with head coach Ron Weinmiller. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Danny.
I understand you had to give an assistant some things to do before you could join us on the air. Is that true?
I did. I had to give him his marching orders while I was doing this. You know, we got a game tonight, and so first game on the road, I'm sure we'll forget something, but we'll try to get everything packed up.
Well, just make sure to be good on him, be easy on him, because he is a WMIX sports commentator as well.
Well, I know. I heard his debut last year. I'm hoping that the ice stays away and he can just work with me, and you guys don't have to work him too hard. I don't want to lose him to you.
A switch in schedule for Benton. Normally, you know, you'll begin next week, obviously, at Goreville, but you get a chance to open up with a game night against West Franklin. This has kind of been an idea of yours for some time to come.
Yeah, you know, and I got to give credit where it's due. This was Richard Glottis' brainchild, and it started off with, you know, kind of resurrecting the Turkey Day tradition, and a couple years ago, he even wanted to play it on Thanksgiving night, and I was vetoed by higher powers when I went home and mentioned that, because my wife said, we are not playing basketball on Thanksgiving. She said, I get Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day, you're not taking those from me. So went back and said, we're not going to be able to play on Thanksgiving, and kind of debated whether we should do it on Friday, and Saturday's kind of the date we landed on, and it's a neat thing. You know, I think it's one of those things that as we continue to do it, it will become a pretty cool thing to open our season the weekend of Thanksgiving on against West Frankfort.
Looking at last year, of course, you met up with Harrisburg in the regional final, and then, of course, everybody knows Harrisburg won the state championship. Talk about some of the kids that come back from your program that won 11 games last year.
You know, we talked about building the kind of the base of our team this year, being two seniors that got a lot of playing time as juniors, in Higgins and Owens. They'll kind of be the base of what we do. They're kind of the foundation, and then we kind of sprinkle some young guys in around them. Dakota Head's got some varsity experience. He returned. But then, you know, we're really going to rely on some guys that are untested. You know, forget about playing varsity basketball. Some of these guys have never even played a game as a Ranger. So we're going to bank on Crusade, a transfer from Marion, and we're also going to put a lot of stock in a freshman named Oxford. We think those guys can come in and stretch some defenses and make some plays for us. But, you know, it's one thing to do it on a Tuesday at 3:30. You got to go do it at Saturday night at 8.
Looking at your schedule, of course, at Frankfort tonight, then you have the Goreville tournament next week, second year that tournament's in existence. You've seen Heron, you get them at home on a Friday a week later, and then you have a Tuesday at Carmi, and I believe what will be a Saturday at Nashville before the Duster Thomas tournament. That's a tough week of stretch there to open your season with the games you play even before Christmas starts.
Yeah, I think anytime you look at our schedule, though, if you can find an easy stretch in it, let me know, because we come back after the BIT and we go Heron, Carterville, at McLeansboro. So you know, and then you got the BIT in there, and we got a weekend in February where we go to Harrisburg, to Massac on Friday, Saturday. You know, so there's no weak stretches in our schedule. All of it's pretty tough. I do think that the Goreville tournament is so balanced that, you know, we have a chance to go down there, and this is not coach speak. We could go 4-0 or really realistically 1-3. So I think that's a good way to start our season, because we know we're going to get tested. We know we're going to see where we're at, and we'll be better against Heron next Friday than we are tonight.
One thing the South 7 Conference does that I like is they play every conference game on a Friday night throughout the season. Is that something that you would like to see the River to River do, or do you enjoy having to go from one conference team on a Friday to another maybe on a Saturday?
Would you enjoy going to Harrisburg on a Friday and Massac on a Saturday?
Lord, no.
I don't know if anybody would say that they enjoy that. But in all seriousness, I do. You know, when Shane told me that they did that, I'm like, that's a great idea. Because you got the one conference game, then you can sprinkle in your non-conference games as you want. And as we all know, those conference games, not only are they just a little bit more important, but they have a huge rivalry aspect to them as well, usually. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Marion opens up their South 7 play at Carbondale next Friday. I mean, not only is that a huge conference game, those schools don't like each other. So it's the same kind of deal with us. So, yeah, I would like to see that. And I just think it would make it much, much more fair for everyone because going to those are our really two longest trips that we have, and we got them on the same weekend.
Okay, I seriously, your assistant tells me that he is having to coach from a book by a 4-letter university basketball program. Is that true?
Yeah, we've one thing that I felt that we didn't have very good last year was a good connection between our upperclassmen and our younger guys. And I read a book. I like to read a lot in the spring and the summer, and read a book written by Jay Billis, and it was about toughness. And I think in today's time we equate toughness to wanting to fight. I'm tough because I can beat you up, or I'm tough because I knocked you down. Man, I watched Mount Vernon play last night, and that little Fitzgerald kid, he got toughness in droves, and it had nothing to do with being the strongest or quickest or anything like that, but he's the most determined. I'll tell you another kid that I walked out of the gym Friday night impressed with, and that's the Reese kid. I mean, here he is, 6'1", undersized, and he's going toe-to-toe with that kid from Collinsville. That's what toughness is, and that's what being a good team and being a good teammate, and that's really what we're trying to teach our guys. It really has nothing to do with reading a book. It has more to do with doing something together and making sure that everybody's kind of on the same page. Yeah, but I don't think he was real happy about having to lead book club today. That's what they refer to it as book club.
I've just been informed about the leading of the book club. But talk about the Ohio Division. Of course, Harrisburg State champs. They returned a few players. You got more 3A schools with Massac and Heron being involved, and then Murphy's got some talent back. I mean, there's just not an easy game as far as picking a favorite or any easy game on this side of the conference.
I really believe that from 2 to 6, there's as much balance and parity as there's been since I got here. I mean, when I first got here, Murfreesboro was going through their unbelievable run, and then as soon as those guys graduated, Harrisburg started their unbelievable run, and Heron was really good, and Massac, and then you kind of had us and Frankfort kind of dueling it out to see who would finish toward the bottom, and I don't feel like we have that this year. I mean, Heron lost everybody. I've seen them play 3 times this week, and you can see that Coach Lukens is really kind of searching for who he's going to be able to play and who he's going to be able to give those minutes to. And then Murfreesboro's kind of in the same boat. They lost everybody. They played today, I think, at noon against some team out of St. Louis. And so everybody, even though Harrisburg's got those 2 guys to build around, they still got to build around them. I mean, sometimes it's way easier to be the 3rd or 4th option than it is the 1st and the 2nd. So I really feel like Massac's the favorite. I mean, you look at them, and they play Meridian tonight, and I won't be shocked if they don't lay it on Meridian a little bit because they're just so big and long and athletic, and they're playing without their point guard right now. So even when they get him back, I think they'll win the El Dorado tournament. I think they're the favorites, and I think everybody else is fighting to get in the top half of the conference.
All right, here's what we're going to do, because we know you being a football correspondent, we're going to do this. We're going to ask our social media question of the week. We'll take a break, then we'll come back. We're going to talk about all these rumors and innuendos of the football conference with you, since you're one of our correspondents. So, Our social media question of the week is, what is the toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
Hey, was I the basis of this the social media question of the week?
Well, you know what? After talking with you last night, and we were walking out of the building, and I'm looking around, I see the nice orange Christmas tree in the front of the lobby, and I started laughing, and my lady friend and I were walking out, and she says, well, what's going on? And I said, I have the question of the week. I didn't tell her what it was. I don't tell anybody until I get here in the morning. But
not even me.
It's based basically on you. What's the toughest Christmas decoration to hang up?
Well, obviously for me it's the Christmas tree. But we don't go crazy at Christmas with decorations, because I told Whitney when we were dating, it was the first Christmas we started dating, and she said, are you gonna do this at your house? Are you gonna do that? I said, babe, I'm home for like 2 hours at a time. I don't want to be messing with Christmas lights. So this is an easy one for me. The Christmas tree is all I'm in charge of, and apparently I screwed that up because I didn't hook the lights up correctly or something. So for me, it's definitely the Christmas tree.
There you go. Solid logic, solid answer, and lights are a pain in the butt. Ron, we'll take a break. We'll come back with you, talk about some football innuendo here on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
We're back after these.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Harvest time is approaching and hunters are in their stands. What does this mean for you? Deer are running more frequently now. I hope we don't have to meet in the near future because of these creatures, but in the unfortunate chance you do find Mother Nature dancing onto your hood, you can be confident that Landers will be here to tend to you and your ride. And, as our specialty and main focus is collision repair alone, no one is more qualified to restore your vehicle back to its previous condition or better, and in the process, helping to retain its resale value. Every day we continue to set the standards for quality collision repair. Give us a chance to show you what we can do for you. Collision repair is what we know. We should be good at it. Again, this is Chase with Landers Collision Centers, where we offer only the best in collision repair. Come meet the staff, take a tour of our facilities, and get to know the crew at Landers Collision Centers. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. Just give us a call, 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
The health of your kidneys has a big impact on your overall health, affecting everything from your blood pressure to your bones. And if you ever have a kidney problem, Dr. Kangura is here to help. Dr. Kangura trained at the Mayo Clinic and specializes in conditions ranging from kidney stones and uncontrolled high blood pressure to chronic kidney disease. Dr. Kangura sees patients at Crossroads Specialty Clinic. For an appointment, call 618-241-9071.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
There you go. Ron Weinmiller still with us here on the Saturday Sports Show, talking about some high school football issues that are going on right now. Obviously, the big news that we broke on Wednesday night and into Thanksgiving was that Waltonville Woodlawn head coach Johnny Hollis intends to resign, and that a resignation could possibly be accepted at the December board meeting of Sesquivelliere High School's Board of Education. So that in itself is an interesting way to kick off, I guess, what you could call the football hot stove. So that in itself, I mean, that's crazy breaking news.
Yeah, so Johnny Hollis resigns at SVWW. Nick Hill says no to DuQuoin. And then, Ron, here we go. All the rumors start with Alvarado and DuQuoin allegedly talking, flirting, or otherwise about making a co-op, which, of course, could go anywhere at that point.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that if you want to call it rumor or secret, it's the worst kept secret in Southern Illinois because everybody's heard it. And I think there's I think with a lot of co-ops, it's usually for mutual need. And I don't really feel like this is one that is for a mutual need because DuQuoin's got plenty of kids to play football. I think it's one of those things where they feel like with the declining enrollment, they're being proactive. And usually people are so headstrong to keep their own team, and we got to play at hometown field and wear the blue and yellow. And I think Elkville's doing the right thing too. I mean they let's be honest. I mean 1-8 probably from now until a long time. 2-7 is going to be a good year. 3-6 will be great. So I think they're doing the right thing and giving their kids the best chance to be successful. And it's another good move, A lot of times you see these co-ops, and I'll use Carmine North City one because I think it's the most relevant. Carmine co-ops with North City 6 or 7 years ago. Carmine makes the playoffs. They have to take North City's enrollment. The first year they go to Chatham-Glenwood because they got bumped up a class. The next year they have to take North City's enrollment. They have to go to Metamora. I mean, Carmine should not be playing Metamora. For one sophomore kid is what they got the first year. The kid didn't come back out the second year. So this is a situation where Elgville kids have played football. I'm sure their interest is going to be there. So I think it's a great deal for both sides.
Now, as you and I know, and Chris knows, that when you talk about this, Alvarado Trico's done. So Trico's doesn't have football. Alvarado won't have football. They're wanting to co-op with DuQuoin from the river to river. This is where all the innuendos start moving around about, okay, the conference rule in the Black Diamond is thou shalt not have football, thou shalt not be in the conference. If they go with that, then if somebody wants to come into the Diamond per se, a Sparta, an Edwards County, or whoever, that's when all the conferences start getting into motion here as far as the dominoes falling. And this could really, as you and I talked about the other day and you mentioned earlier, really start a shock wave, a tidal wave of changes in football as we know it in high school from about I-70 south in southern Illinois.
Yeah, and I think whatever happens, I mean, obviously, I think we can all come to the conclusion that Elgville's not going to play football anymore. So the Black Diamond's got to find a 10th team. I mean, there have been a closed conference since they brought McLeansboro, El Dorado, Fairfield, Carmike, since they brought those guys in 10 years ago. So I think you look at it like that. Who did they go get? I mean, I'm sure that those guys have teams on their radar. And Edwards County seems to be the name that you hear from a lot of people. If Edwards County comes in, it's business as usual for everybody else down here, because that really doesn't. I'm sure they'll slide Vienna to the other side and just put Edwards County right in there on the same side. I get the east and west mixed up. I guess that'd be the east side. With McLeansboro and Fairfield and Carmike, Johnson City would have a nice bus trip to Edwards County, but for everybody else geographically, probably closer than going to Vienna. Now, where the real dominoes and the craziness starts to begin is if the other rumor of Sparta. Because if that then makes the Mississippi side of the river unbalanced. So, I think it's one of those things that those principals and ADs in the river have got to look at. Number one, do you invite someone else? Do you balance up the sides? I mean, obviously Carterville's outgrowing the Mississippi quickly by the day.
Yeah.
Or do you look to maybe see if someone wants to make a move and close it up, and you don't have to worry about football scheduling. So I think those are a lot of questions, and a lot of that's going to play out, and it could get kind of crazy here for the next 2, 3, 4 months.
Well, here's the crazy for me is in the river to river, you definitely have a split. I don't think that's a secret. You have 6-4, 6 against as far as playing crossover schedule. Then you have a lot of people think Carterville should switch sides with like a West Frankfort or another school on that side to make the enrollments balanced. But then it gets to a point where, okay, if somebody leaves or somebody gets voted out or something goes on, I mean, the river to river is almost like two separate conferences anyway. It's kind of like even before Alvarado and or the Black Diamond decides what they're going to do, the river to river needs to get, maybe, would you agree with me in this, their house in order, have several plans laid out, and be proactive before things start happening in a very quick fashion.
Oh, because I think if you don't have a plan, then, and I'm sure those guys do, I haven't talked to Ryan about it, but I'm sure they have a plan as to what they want to do. Sure they have a plan as to, hey, this needs to happen. And like I said, if Edwards County's the one voted in, I still think they got to have a plan because what are you going to do if this does happen? I think that Sparta's probably the one that makes the most sense to maybe leave, whether it be to the Black Diamond if that comes to fruition, or if they go to the Cahokia. That's always kind of been a rumor out there that they have tried to get in the Cahokia. So what are you going to do as a conference, river to river, if that does happen? Do you look to bring someone else in, and if so, who? I mean, those options are pretty limited around here. And this is something else that I have talked to Ryan about. I said, how far are we, and not just the river to river, but how far are we as a state away from being like the Missouri Valley is in football, where you have the Missouri Valley Conference football, and then you have the Missouri Valley Conference and everything else. I don't think that we're too far away from seeing that. simply because scheduling is such a pain, as you guys deal with firsthand at Mount Vernon. You know, especially now, Coach Shaner's got it going back again. They'll have a hard time scheduling people again.
Well, and, you take a look at the root of the issue here, which, of course, this would all happen possibly because of the DuQuoin-Alvarado co-op. But if you're DuQuoin, why would you even consider this if you're going to go up a class? Is it something where you know what's on the horizon? Maybe your numbers are going to continue to dwindle. Maybe you're hoping that by bringing in Alvarado to a successful program, that might help make it worth your while and lure some more kids out to play football. But it just seems like to me, by even considering this notion, that DuQuoin sees what's on the horizon, and it may not be as good as what we all want to think it is. It could be maybe a case that DuQuoin believes that their football is not going to be what it once was in the not-too-distant future. Maybe that's why this is even being considered in the first place.
Well, and if that's the case, then I think they're doing a great thing by being proactive and not waiting until they're in that situation for both sides. I mean, I think this is it's a kind of a, I think people are scratching their heads a little bit as to why they would do it now. But if Al Martin is endorsing this, which I'm sure he is if they're even considering it, then I got to know that it's a good move. Because I'm not going to second-guess that guy in anything he does. I think he knows way more than I do and probably any of us. So if he's the guy endorsing it and he's the guy pushing for it, then I'm going to say it's a good move for their program.
When you look at, scheduling, you mentioned about like a Missouri Valley where teams will be from everywhere. I'm like you. I could see districts. I could see mega conferences. I could see the Hugo idea of multiple rivers named for conferences. I could see all kinds of things happening based on 1 to 2 schools, and they're like the linchpins, Alvarado, Sparta. If things start shaking, Trico, I mean, this could change everything we know. I mean, this could be a statewide river-to-river, side-to-side conference of multiple teams in this case.
Yeah, I think that's what you're looking at. If one team, in the case of the Black Diamond, you're talking about going from a closed conference to being open 1 week every all 9 weeks. I mean, if you're open week 1, 2, or 3, or 9, it's probably not a big deal. How'd you like to have Elgville on the schedule for week 6 or 5? Good luck finding a game. The only saving grace of that, I think, that Elgville and Vienna play week 5. Vienna can probably dip down into Kentucky and find somebody about their size to play. But, for Fairfield, El Dorado, people like that, I mean, you may be like Martinsville playing some team out of Wisconsin because they're just people in the middle of their conferences. There's not going to be people to play. So that's why I think it's so important that they get to that 10th team in the Black Diamond.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the conference dominoes, and of course, talking about how conferences may be redone after all of this, depending upon where the dominoes may fall. But I mean, you're looking at a case, Chester. It's no secret Chester and Sparta. Maybe some desires as far as the Cahokia Conference is concerned, to lessen the travel, lessen the burden. Cahokia Conference may not seem to have as much interest as those two may seem to have about getting in. But it's just crazy to think what could happen. Say Sparta were to eventually leave the river to river, and the river is at 11 teams between the two divisions. Is that something where you could see them telling Massac to take a hike and go join a Kentucky conference, or something where maybe you tell, hey, Heron, go look at the South 7? I mean, what could play out there?
Well, those, I don't know. Those are options. I mean, somebody even told me, why would we kick Heron out when Carterville's going to be bigger than them in 3 years?
Right.
So I think that it's one of those scenarios that'll have to play out. I mean, do you call a Mount Carmel? Do they finally get in play? And I'm sure they would gladly run to the table to listen to the river. Or do you try to get something? Do you try to coax the Black Diamond team to coming over? I don't think that's probably necessarily the move. An old South 17, Salem. I think there's all kinds of scenarios that could play out, which I'm sure that the people above me have definitely thought about and have already started to hash out.
Well, and Salem's a nice wild card that could be in play for a conference like the River to River. No secret that there have been times that they have tried to lessen their schedule a little bit to be more competitive, and that's one thing I think that could definitely be up for consideration. But all in all, it's crazy, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Ron, I know you're busy today. We appreciate you taking the time to talk the high school football situations with us as one of our correspondents, and best of luck to the Rangers tonight as you guys take on the West Frankfort Redbirds.
Hey, thanks, and congrats to Scott and the Rams, man. I've got a chance to see them play. It's going to be a good year to be a Rams fan and to call those games. Scotty's got them playing hard, and they're going to have a good year.
I hope so. That's Ron Weinmiller, of course, a true friend of the program and a WMIX sports correspondent. Of course, they have the West Frankfort Redbirds tonight, so we wish good luck to both of those teams in A South. Make that Southern Illinois River Ohio Division game. Of course, here on the Saturday Sports Show, and probably should have prefaced a little bit more with this whole situation, but what's crazy to think about is not even just the possibility of a DQE co-op, but you now look at the Sesterville, Waltonville, Woodlawn football situation, and if Coach Hollis, with the resignation impending, where you go from there. Teaching jobs, of course, always at a premium now with some of these openings. I don't believe there to be any open right now at Sesser.
I don't know. It's a tough position to fill anyway, because it's not like baseball or basketball. Not a lot of people have the background knowledge to do football, to coach. And whoever that next person will be has to have the understanding you're going to have a co-op. Actually, it's a tri-op to deal with, actually, when you have 3 schools. So it's a big job because you have to coordinate with 3 schools. You have to coordinate practicing and start at a certain time, let everybody get there, and lots of support down there. But that's a job that's going to be interesting to see who gets that, who fills that position. But this whole deal with Alvarado and Trico breaking up, and Trico maybe jumping in with Sparta and Steelville as a tri-op, leaving the Black Diamond basically joining the River. But where does Trico go for sports-wise? In Alvarado, there's talk of Alvarado going to the SEC because they don't have football, obviously. And then if you don't have football, you're not in the Diamond. And then if the Black Diamond, of course, if this happens for 2014, you're out of luck unless you can find a game. You're probably going to have a bye week. Everybody in the Diamond will have one bye week. You only have 8 games. You can get a year hiatus from the IHSA as far as not having to find somebody. It's the next year in 2015 the Diamond will be in trouble. I mean, if, for instance, an Edwards County comes in, then that blows up the LIC. And then if down here it stays the same. But I think if a Sparta or somebody else in the River wants to bolt, that's when everything starts crumbling, and then you start looking at other conferences. Like I said, it could affect everybody's I-70 South.
Well, and lest we forget that if with Alvarado and Trico being, I guess, kicked to the curb in that situation, you have 2 openings in the Black Diamond basketball. So, just bringing in one football school is still going to leave things uneven on one division on the basketball side. So it'd be interesting to see what your options become then. Do you invite somebody else in as a basketball-only school? But you can't do that if you kick. But yet you could. So, I mean, I think where my thought process is going.
I know that if the Diamond sticks to their guns and says no football, no conference affiliation, there is a school that co-ops that could, slide on down.
2 of that co-op. One that probably really more realistically
that'd
could.
be very interesting, wouldn't it? But then I would like to see that school with its other 3 brethren that always have been the main 4 in that particular area, and we'll drop hints later. If you, for example, here's where all this starts affecting: Woodlawn, Waltonville, Wayne City, Weber. They're always going to have teams. They're always going to have competition. The Midland Trail's struggling as far after those 4. It's struggled to keep teams, scheduling-wise, whether it's by numbers or by money. Those 4 are always looking for somewhere to go. Oakville's over there. Trico's looking. You got that option, or maybe somebody says, you know what, it's time for us to be proactive. We're going first. We're getting the best deal. The heck with everybody else, and they take off, and 2 of them take off and go south.
Well, you talk about the 4 Ws.
Oh yeah,
you're not getting anything from the rest of the Midland Trail. I'm sorry. I'm not a Midland Trail hater. I appreciated it when it happened. But as programs start to die, schools start to have to require private funding for their sports, that's not a good sign. And I know South Central's out of the conference, but that's one of the schools having that issue. North Clay is having that problem. Sisney doesn't have girls basketball right now. Things are not going well. You have Noble and Clay City that can't decide if we're co-oping this year or not. You know what I mean?
Sicily
Like
doesn't
it's
have
on
a
and
girls'
off.
team.
Exactly.
North Clay is inches away from cutting more sports.
North Clay is inches away from Effingham and Flora.
You got that right. And Effingham, Woodlawn's laying there going, Waltonville's laying there, Weber, Wayne City. Weber, Wayne City maybe look to the north, to the LIC. That's to say, this not only affects football, but this affects baseball, basketball conferences. This is starting to, because teams are going to change. Like I said, everything's going to go on.
I thought you had kind of a good plan. Weber, Wayne City, Waltonville, Woodlawn, Oakville, Trico, Alvarado type thing maybe, although Alvarado you mentioned maybe some interest in the SEC.
South.
But you never know.
I'm telling you, it's got the potential to just kind of shake things up as we know it down here. Kind of like in college where the Big East covers 3 time zones or more. I'm not saying, obviously, Illinois is not just in one time zone, but if the Midland Trail is looking around and staggering, I would say the Midland Trail is getting a 10 count for boxing right now. That's what you got to look up at. This is kind of how big
10
everything
count,
is.
we're up to 3.
Yeah.
Not totally out of it, and that's the thing. And, I love the Midland Trail Conference. It's just, what are some of the schools really getting out of it? Is it really helping some of the schools in it? And from a competitive level, there's one school in particular where in one particular sport, I don't feel that it helps them whatsoever outside of going to one of their opponents every other year where they struggle. And we saw that last year with said school. Their only loss in said conference in said sport since they've been in said conference. So where is that helping them?
It's not.
They're always
looking.
No guarantee in basketball of a JV on any given night on one side of the gender. That's not helping matters any.
Mm-hmm.
Granted. I'm just saying.
Like I said, it's possibilities. And like I've said for many years on this station and another one, the ones that'll be proactive instead of reactive will be the ones that prosper the most.
And at this time, if this possibility happens, I don't think people understand just how large of a domino effect this could have. And we're looking at every conference right now south of 70, outside of the Southwestern Conference and the South Central. Hey, be on alert. Because things could be happening that could benefit or detract from your situation. But that's a look at what could happen if this all goes down. I don't think enough's being played up about just how big of a move, how big of an impact that a potential DuQuoin Alvarado co-op is. Because I know you have people sitting there right now listening, saying, whenever we talked about it and preface this discussion early in the show, thinking, well, that doesn't impact me. Oh, yes, it does. You know what else impacts everybody? The Mountford and Rams tonight, of course, against Soldan, Missouri, 7 o'clock tip-off, 6:45 pregame. Watch it on 94.1 FM or watch it at WMIXsports.com. Lady Rams at 4:45 pregame, 5 o'clock tip as they are in the 5th place game against the Triad Lady Knights. That's on WMIX AM 940. That's right here. Also with audio at WMIXsports.com. We hope you'll support the Rams and Lady Rams today. Of course, basketball to be found on your various Withers Broadcasting Data Communications stations. All you have to do is go to WMIXsports.com, find which station your favorite team is on, and their tournament is probably on today. This is WMIX Mount Vernon. We appreciate you listening to the Saturday Sports Show this week. We're back again next week, same time until 10 o'clock, here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. So long.